life goes on. Or in other words, life continues. There's emotion, there's sadness, there's jubilation. There's memory. There's decision making, there's choices, there's options. But not always. Every once in a while, there's only a small flicker of light. A tiny bit of energy, the body, and the brain have remaining. And the loop ends. And there's opportunity, or there's more stimulus, more distraction, more misdirection. But part of knowing the brain, the body, and having a mind with the body and brain can help with imagination, can give beauty, in sorrow and suffering and despair and sadness. In Tibetan Buddhism, we would do fasting. And the shop owner who I was apprenticing with, who was kind of the shop teacher for the spirituality tradition. He would drink, he would go to the bar and sit, and there were these tabs, and he would just take these tabs he'd rip these tabs. It's just like taking peanuts out of a shell, just come back to the shop. He'd have me go get a lottery ticket. I'd go get the lottery ticket. He'd do the lottery ticket, put it away. He'd have me go get some beer. We'd go get some beer. I'd go get some beer. We'd drink some beer, and then, on and on. And the fasting increases the intensity of time. The same duration, 1, 2, 3, 4, but a different speed. Kind of like going out and doing some exercise, push-ups in your home, in a person's home, planks. getting the body's blood flowing. There's a whole physiological process that I have in the future to accomplish to be able to describe the fasting and the benefits more clearly, but the main noticeable difference has to do with not moving this slow, not moving this fast, but going smooth and quick. And there's a whole different loop. And, quite literally, when I was at the shop, down the street, across the street, over the crosswalk, down the hill, through the neighborhood, and back to where I started. And I did those kinds of habits, and I made those choices to learn about meditation, walking meditation, mindfulness, and not distracting some shop owner because I'm going on 5-6 hours of not eating. But with the tradition of fasting, there's also a beautiful and fulfilling meal to look forward to at the end of the allotted amount of time. Once in a while, there's no plan. There's just flat out no money to go buy food. There's nowhere to go get food for the small dollars we had. And there's the benefit from the struggle. Especially emotionally. A similar struggle as Garbage Trash 01091984 or any other rant or any other obnoxious escapade on video, in writing. The only way to learn about stimulus has to do with consciously keeping track, consciously paying attention as an observer. Not as a law enforcer, not as a sergeant, a tribal leader, a queen. But as new information being stored. As updates to decision-making processes, as new techniques to new techniques to reduce, new techniques to have better skill, going for the more beneficial plan of action. Taking the day off and working in the evening. Waking up early at 4:30, PT, go. Early to bed and following a schedule. These are all different loops. Some with better exits, some with abundant entrances. Not having to keep track of dates, having natural stimulus from small amounts of disconnection, not reading the news, not looking at the time, the day, not staring at a technological device in the blue light, reading plain white pages in fluorescent light, and closing the windows and shades to calm the room from the hysteria in the city outside, Seattle, in the state I live now, Washington. People who play the same music every week at nearly the same hour on potentially the same day, with nobody complaining and calling the police. To stop. Their process and to eliminate the system they have in place for the whole neighborhood. Consciousness can be used to help life go on. Consciousness can also stimulate, 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 stimulate. And cause confusion, more stimulation. And then when they regain their focus and their concentration, they get more stimulation. So the most important piece of life going on has to do with food, has to do with energy, has to do with time. And once in a while going slow maybe, and then once in a while not, taking the time to pause. But always and forever recognizing and remembering now. 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 The end.